This is a tips and tricks on the new CVC OEI course design rubric. So I have Googled OEI rubric, and when you Google OEI rubric, you get to the new California Community College Online Education Initiative course design. This is what is used to review all the courses here at Skyline College. In order to make sure that your course is ready for students, it is vital for there to be some sort of standard to follow the in regards to the structure of the course. So today's tips and tricks is about the newly revised edition of the OEI CVC design rubric. This was revised in October 2018, and the purpose of this tips and tricks is to demonstrate the changes that have occurred specifically in regards to accessibility. As we know, accessibility is one of the areas that many courses are are found to be lacking. Typically, courses have great content. Typically, courses are very well put together. However, the accessibility component, which is located in Section D, is often woefully lacking. So, accessibility in Section D is going to focus on D1 through D10 formatting, and this is actually a new thing that they created as part of accessibility. D11 is going to focus on accessibility checkers, and then D12 to D16 focuses on audio and video. All right, so it looks like the accessibility section starts on page 15. So let's navigate down to page 15 and see what those changes are in regards to accessibility. All right, section D, accessibility. What you will notice is that the way that this is designed compared to last time is you have columns that are situated to clearly state if something is aligned to the requirements or the standards or the guidelines, if it's incomplete, meaning if it started but hasn't been completed, and also not applicable. You want to get aligned for everything unless you have an item that is not available. So for example, if you don't have audio or video, then you would be marked as non-applicable. So LTIs, media player, links to third-party websites, publisher content, all of these things have to be checked for accessibility. So if there is publisher's content that does not have or does not meet the accessibility requirements, then of course that is something that is going to be deemed inside of the course. And of course, the publisher's content would have to be either revised, removed, or perhaps you would have to contact the publisher and say, your items are not aligned to accessibility requirements. Because the review of a course accessibility is a snapshot in time, instructors and administrators are going to be engaging in an ongoing effort to ensure that equitable access to instructional content is maintained in the course and that all areas of accessibility are addressed. This means that there eventually will be peer review processes that go into place to ensure that at any given time accessibility is checked. So, heading styles. Heading styles in Canvas, in your documents, in your PDFs, digital presentations, and spreadsheets will be checked. Heading styles are a consistent way that are used to navigate through courses, and heading styles should be used appropriately, knowing when to use heading 1, knowing when to use heading 2, and then, of course, using paragraphs as the in-between sections of the headings. Lists are also things that have to be checked and guided because those are also part of the screen reader components of accessibility. And so understanding that you have to use the bullet or the numbered lists that are provided rather than making your own individually ones. Links are also encouraged to be or are required to be identified with meaningful and unique text. And so you can see how once again, all of the content has to be reviewed in order to uh, to pass and be considered aligned. This is a lot more complex than the previous OEI rubric. Tables, same exact thing, color contrast, color and meaning, images, all of these items have to meet the requirements. The reading order, so making sure that content is created in a sequential sort of way is vital. So sometimes people will have content that isn't in a reading order, and sometimes fancy designs create readings that are done like that. And so that has to be checked. Slides are also having to be ensure that digital presentations are also laid out in a way that provides for accessibility. And then spreadsheets are also important. Accessibility checkers, files and content pages pass any built accessibility checker available in the software, meaning specifically on Canvas, there is an accessibility checker, and we use that in order to ensure that everything is accessible. And so the accessibility checker was actually the tips and tricks for earlier in the calendar year of 2019. So please check out that video for the accessibility checkers. Video content. If you have video content or audio content, you have the same exact guidelines and requirements. Flashing content. Most of the time, college level courses don't have flashing content, but if there were flashing content, this is something that needs to be checked. And then captioning. Captioning specifically for live content needs to be looked at, and any sort of autoplay or auto video content also needs to be captioned. And so this concludes the tips and tricks for the CVC OEI rubric. The changes are very clear, but in many ways it's actually easier for your course to be assessed. And this is a video that hopefully will guide you as you design your course, knowing what's going to be looked for when peer reviews happen on your course and evaluations happen on your course and when they follow the OEI rubric. Best of success to everyone.